All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're looking at a super direct method for really transforming your mind. It's a path that's built on ancient wisdom, but it's laid out with the clarity of a modern-day roadmap.
You know that feeling, like you're stuck on a hamster wheel of worry, frustration, and just general dissatisfaction. It's a pretty universal human thing, right? But what if I told you there was a way to actually step off that wheel? For good.
So, the big, ultimate promise of this path is the complete end of suffering. But, that can feel kind of huge and far away. That's why we're going to focus on the first and most crucial milestone, a permanent shift in how you see the world called stream entry.
See, this whole thing is laid out in these clear, progressive stages. We're zeroing in on level 1, stream entry, or nyaplu. And check this out. It's called the point of no return. Why? Because once you get there, you are guaranteed to reach full liberation, eventually. You can't slide back. It is, without a doubt, the most important step on the entire journey.
So, how do we actually get there? Well, we need a tool. And the main tool in this method is an incredibly simple but seriously powerful technique called noting. Let's break down what that actually is.
At its heart, noting, or ginyen, is just two simple things. First, you clearly know or recognize what's happening in your experience right this second. Second, you just mentally apply a soft, simple label to it. And that's it. You're not analyzing it, you're not judging it, you're just knowing and labeling, from one moment to the next.
The main thing we use to practice is the breath, specifically the feeling of the abdomen moving. You just sit comfortably, put your attention right on your stomach, and as you feel that gentle expansion of your in-breath, you just think to yourself, rising, rising. And as you feel it contract on the out-breath, you think, falling, falling. It's really that simple.
Okay, but let's be real. The second you try to focus on your breath, what happens? Boom, your mind goes everywhere. Thoughts pop up, you hear a car horn outside, your knee starts to ache. This right here is where the real practice actually starts.
The solution is this beautiful, simple golden rule. Whatever pops into your awareness that is louder or stronger than the breath, you just turn your attention right to it, note it once or twice, and then gently bring your attention back to the rising and falling. And this is the real game changer. Suddenly, nothing is a distraction anymore. It's all just material for the practice. A random thought about work isn't a failure. It's just an opportunity to note thinking. The sound of a dog barking isn't an interruption. It's a chance to note hearing. An itch, a feeling of sadness, a sudden urge to get up. You just note it and it becomes part of the path.
Okay, so now you have the tool, noting. But where are you going with it? This is what makes this whole method so powerful. It comes with a map, a well-documented 16-stage journey of insight that meditators reliably experience. Your progress isn't just random wandering, it's actually predictable. So what does this map look like? Well, it follows a pretty clear pattern. You start out just learning the ropes, seeing how your mind and body really work. Then you hit stage 4, this huge peak of bliss and energy. But right after that incredible high comes a really challenging valley, the famous dark night. If you can push through that, you reach this high plateau of deep peace, which sets the stage for the final breakthrough.
We really need to take a closer look at that first peak, stage 4. It can feel so incredible, so profound, that a lot of people mistake it for the final goal. But it's not. And getting attached to it is probably the single biggest trap on the path.
During this stage, you might experience things like intense lights, powerful feelings of bliss, unshakable faith, or just boundless energy. These are called the corruptions of insight. Not because they're bad, they feel amazing, but because they can corrupt your practice if you start clinging to them. And the solution is the same as always. See a light, note seeing. Feel bliss, note bliss. You treat them like everything else that passes through. They're signs of progress, not the final destination.
So after that blissful peak comes the valley. This is the dark night. And honestly, it can be really tough. You might feel fear, disgust, or a deep desire to just quit. But it is so crucial to understand this. These difficult stages are not a sign you're doing something wrong. They are absolute proof that the practice is working and you are getting closer.
Now, it's really important to make a distinction here. The spiritual weariness of this stage, which is called nibbida, is not the same as clinical depression. With nibbida, you're usually still able to practice, you have a sense that it's a phase, and there's this undercurrent of balance still there. It's a very specific temporary stage of insight, not a mental health disorder.
So you've climbed that false summit and you've journeyed through the dark valley.
What comes next is the breakthrough you've been working for this whole time, a permanent, fundamental shift in how you experience reality itself.
After all the intensity of the dark night, the mind just settles. It enters this state of deep, effortless balance. Your practice becomes smooth, almost automatic. You're not trying to get anywhere or make anything happen. You're just balanced, watching it all come and go. And it is from this place of total surrender that the breakthrough happens.
So picture it. You're just sitting, practicing like usual. Your mind is totally calm. You're just noting the flow of experience, rising, falling. A thought comes up, so thinking, back to rising.
And then, for a fraction of a second, it all just stops.
The entire show, the whole movie of your mind, just blinks out. It's not blackness, it's not a void, it's just nothing. And when consciousness reboots a split second later, you know, on the deepest level possible, that a fundamental line has been crossed. This event is called cessation.
So what actually changes? Well, this experience permanently shatters three core illusions, these fetters or mental chains that bind us. First, that deep down belief in a solid, separate me is just gone. You see that it's all just a process. Second, any doubt you had about this path completely vanishes. And third, you stop clinging to empty rituals because you know that real freedom comes from this direct insight.
Okay, so we've covered the tool, we've looked at the map, and we've seen the destination. So if any of this is resonating with you, how do you actually get started?
Here's a super simple plan. First, really get the hang of the basic noting technique we talked about. Second, try to practice every day, even if you just start with 30 minutes. Third, when it gets tough, and it will, remember this map and just keep going. And finally, if you really want to accelerate your progress in a huge way, the most powerful thing you can do is go on a silent meditation retreat.
You know, the beauty of this whole path is that it isn't about believing in something. It's about seeing for yourself through a direct investigation of your own mind. So the only real question left is, now that you have the map and the tool, what are you going to discover?